Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
One more time this weekend from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati as the Milwaukee Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds wrap up this four-game weekend series, a series that has seen the Brewers win 2 of the first 3, including Thursday night. Ryan Braun's stellar career has included big numbers in this ballpark, went deep for the 21st time in his career here on Thursday. On Friday, Eric Thames going deep. Brewers spotted Cincinnati an early 3-0 lead, but the crew roared back for a 10-4 victory. Yesterday afternoon, it was the former Brewer, Scooter Gennett, among the Reds who hurt Milwaukee yesterday as Cincinnati was able to hang on 7-5. Good afternoon. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Craig Kashawn is our reporter this afternoon again. And we've seen some of the loud bats here in the open in the last minute or so, Rock, but the loudest of bats coming from Eric Thames. I think that adjustment from Korea back here is turning out okay.
Yeah, and coming into spring training, he was worried about the fastball because in Korea you don't get a lot of fastballs, but he has certainly made that adjustment very nicely. He's got 5 home runs, really staying on the baseball. He's amongst league leaders in home runs and RBIs, actually leads the league in slugging percentage. Now I know it's early, but still, Eric Thames right in the middle of everything. He hasn't even played every day. He's doing a great job at first base, and certainly that bat has been lightning quick through the strike zone, a couple of home runs yesterday. He's got 3 in this series. They're going to need him here today against his Cincinnati ball club.
That Thames, that last home run, it sounded great and it looked even better, sending it well beyond the wall in center field. As you see what Eric has done, when he starts, he hits. He leads the league in slugging as well, and you look at that on-base plus slugging, OPS, that is all day good. That's ridiculous. It's early in the season, but those numbers are just terrific. We say all that, though. The name of the game is pitching, and the Brewers have had a lot of it in the first couple of weeks, including Willie Peralta off to a 2-0 start. Rock will tell you what's working for Willie as we get you ready in Cincinnati. 2 starts and 2 wins to begin this 2017 season for Willie Peralta. There you see what he did against the Rockies at Miller Park. 5 innings, a 3-hit shutout ball, and against the Blue Jays. We know Toronto's struggling, but we also know they are loaded for bear in that lineup. But he held them in check through 6 innings, giving up just the 3 earned runs and 5 hits. Rocky's been getting it done, and even goes back to last year after coming back up, but this year just a terrific start for him.
And again, this year what I noticed the most about Willie, not falling behind with the breaking pitch. He really had a difficult time with the slider. He would fall behind, and even with the big fastball, when hitters are ahead in the count, I mean, they're going to be able to get to it. Look at the location of the fastball for Peralta, and he hasn't lost any velocity. He has been throwing 95 to 98 miles an hour, and just outstanding work being aggressive in the strike zone. It's been good to watch. He's 2-0, and certainly a big start for him here today.
All right, series finale coming up. Reds and the Brewers here at Great American Ballpark, and the Crew get 3 out of 4. Let's find out together on this Easter Sunday afternoon. Presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. Right now, a partly cloudy sky. It's just gorgeous, mid-70s. Yes, there is a threat of rain. We had a rain shower go through here a little more than an hour ago, but right now it looks just fine to wrap up this 4-game set, the Brewers and Cincinnati. And let's check out the Milwaukee batting order presented by Potawatomi. Nick Franklin gets the starting call. Day off for Jonathan Villar. Franklin plays second, followed by Eric Thames and Ryan Braun. Travis Shaw back in the lineup today hitting cleanup. Hernan Perez getting a start in right field. Manny Pena back in the lineup. He had yesterday off. Kirk Neuenhuis, Orlando Arcia, and Willie Peralta round out the Brewers batting order against Sal Romano, making his major league debut this afternoon.
Yeah, one of the Reds' top prospects as far as pitching go, a 23rd rounder back in 2011. They signed him out of high school, 6'5", 270 pounds. He's 23 years old. He's a hard thrower. You see his numbers down in Louisville, no record, but a 138 earned run average, getting an opportunity in the starting rotation here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, very nearly made the club coming out of spring training, one of the last cuts, but he gets his opportunity here today as he faces Nick Franklin to lead things off, and that good strong fastball. That's part of the book on Romano, and we are underway. He'll get it up there mid to upper 90s. He say he's not afraid to challenge. And it'll be a good tester for Romano facing a Brewers team that's been hitting it awfully well, and particularly in this series. Starts the day off against Nick Franklin, and a couple of fastballs and hard ones from Romano.
Yeah, right on the edge. I mean, you figure he's pretty amped up. You would expect, you know, the command not to be there, but not in the first 2 pitches. Looks pretty good. Straight over the top delivery for Sal Romano.
Quickly the 0-2 pitch, and Franklin is able to check it. It's one of the newer acquisitions to this Brewers team. Brewers claimed Franklin off waivers 11 days ago. He's made his hits count. A homer and a triple, a 2-run triple here on Friday night to help the Brewers come from behind. They trailed early 3-0 and ended up winning 10-4. As the production has come from really all parts of the lineup, but in particular Eric Thames, who hit second again in the order this afternoon for the Brewers. As we just get started, Milwaukee winning Thursday and Friday, the Reds hanging on yesterday, and the Crew trying to win the game and the series before heading on to Chicago to open up a 3-game set against the Cubs at Wrigley Field tomorrow night.
It's turned out to be a nice day. I mean, who was it that told us on Thursday no chance we're playing Sunday?
Yeah, all day rain. It's going to start 8 or 9 in the morning and just go all day.
And they said it with such conviction.
Knock on wood.
It's beautiful.
They're
yeah, it might rain, but it's certainly not 100% all day, right?
Absolutely. That shower was a brief one earlier today as Franklin missing inside with the fastball, and a full count to Nick Franklin. This is sets up to be an interesting day here for the Brewers. At least you hope it is, because the Reds have really had to grind it in their bullpen. They've been doing that throughout the season, and they had to go there big time yesterday. And Franklin strikes out swinging, and that's how we get things started here this afternoon.
Well, let's check out the Menards. The Reds defense. They have played errorless baseball in the first 3 games of this series. Only 2 errors all year. Duvall, Hamilton, and Schebler in the outfield. You got Suarez at third, Cozart, and Alcantara today. Alcantara gets a start at second base, his first start of the series. Joey Votto at first, and Tucker Barnhart behind the plate.
There's Arizmendi Alcantara as Eric Thames. He is really dialed in right now. He has homered in every game in this series. In fact, he homered twice yesterday. Already with 5 home runs. The first Brewer to homer 5 times in his first 10 games with this organization. Leads the National League in slugging. Has just been terrific and has lit up Cincinnati pitching this weekend.
Yeah, coming into spring training, he said he was concerned about being able to catch up to the big fastballs in the major leagues. Worked on that in spring, and that has certainly paid off.
We'll have that opportunity to catch up to big fastballs today from Romano, but Thames, boy, he can take a nice easy swing as he did on the homer to right field yesterday, and then really got into one, sending it over the wall in center. And it was a home run that pulled the Brewers to within 1. It was a back and forth game yesterday afternoon. The Reds with a couple of big innings, including a 3-run 6th that proved to be the difference. As Thames draws a walk, and you wonder how careful Romano and any Reds pitcher out there today will be with the hot hitting first baseman.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to pitch around him because you got Braun coming up behind him. Yeah, walks weren't an issue for Romano in his 2 starts down in Louisville in AAA. Only 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Yeah, he was outstanding down there. Only allowed 2 runs in 13 innings.
Here's Ryan Braun, and the Reds have been pretty careful with how they've pitched him. Braun homered on Thursday night, the 21st time he's gone deep here in this park. Going after the first pitch, and he pops this one up. Alcantara in foul territory, dropped the ball. Thank you very much.
Give Braun another swing. That should be an error. Well, he kind of coasted over there and got there, just kind of nonchalanted it and went right off the end of his glove. There's a break for the Ryan Braun. That'd be an E4. Did they give him an error?
They, in fact, did. Well, now this is a nice little test for Romano. Big league debut. against a terrific hitter who has really raked against the Reds, and Braun gets a second chance. And he's down, no balls, 2 strikes. As they say about Romano, he just rears back and lets it fly. Not afraid to challenge. Mentioned a 23rd round draft pick. Looked like he was on his way to play some college ball at the University of Tennessee. The Reds offered a big bonus, and Romano said, "I'll take it, thanks. Where do you want me?"
It was a significant amount of money that they gave him for a 23rd rounder.
To the tune of $450,000.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
That's a big time. That's big time coin anyway.
Yeah.
When you're drafted in the 23rd round.
You're drafted in the 23rd round, you end up going to college, which is what he was planning on doing, right?
Yep. He was on the brink. Going in, he was all set to go to Tennessee. High school in Connecticut. 0-2 pitch to Braun. It's dug out by Barnhart.
Yeah, he's going to flip up a slider from time to time, but it's basically fastball, curveball, the big power curveball for Romano. So you figure Barnhart's going to be busy blocking pitches. That is a big dude out there in the mound. 6'5", 270. He's listed in the media guide.
And that's solid 270. There doesn't look to be anything there that's sloppy about how he is put together. He looks like a strong kid. 23 years old. A ball, 2 strikes to Ryan Braun. And the at-bat continues. Just getting started. Nick Franklin a strikeout. Eric Thames a walk. Braun, who has homered 3 times so far this year, has driven in 6. Trying to get the crew off to a good start. Milwaukee put a couple on the board yesterday in the first inning, and then the seesaw game began. The game where the Reds ended up winning 7-5. And it was interesting how Brian Price utilized his bullpen. Brandon Finnegan had to leave the game after 1 inning. In fact, he is now on the 10-day disabled list with a left arm injury. So it was a lot of bullpen usage, including Raisel Iglesias, who has saved 3 games for him. He came in inning number 5, worked a couple of innings. As it turned out, Michael Lorenzen ended up earning his first save. Brewers had the tying run at the plate. Braun hit it hard to win the game, but right at the right fielder, Scott Shevlin. 2-2 pitch to Braun. Full count, so Romano going full on Braun. Already has lost Eric Thames.
Let's see if Thames is going to take off on the 3-2 pitch here. Barnhart throws very well to the bases. It looks like Romano can be fairly slow to home plate.
Modest lead from Thames. Payoff pitch coming to Braun with Thames on the move, and it's ball 4. And the Brewers get back-to-back walks with 1 out here in the first. I recall yesterday Brandon Finnegan in the first inning walked 3 Brewers, and the crew was on the brink of not being able to cash in. Jonathan Villar was picked off at second. Hernan Perez delivered with a 2-run double. And now the early RBI chance belongs to Travis Shaw with 1 out. Shaw 1 for 8 in the series. He's at .214 batting average, on base percentage at .298.
Yeah, he was red hot in the first homestand. Road trip hasn't been as kind to him, but you look at his swing. You don't expect a guy like Shaw to go into extended offers because he just keeps the bat in the hitting zone a long time. Nice, easy swing. We'll see.
Big, strong guy. Getting a chance to earn significant playing time here in this Brewers organization. 1-1 the count. As we've mentioned, if you are checking in here for the first time in the weekend, Shaw, an Ohio guy, a little northeast of here, Washington Courthouse, the son of the former big leaguer Jeff Shaw. who played here in Cincinnati, was a pitcher, as well as with the Dodgers. A ball, a strike to Shaw. Brewers trying to get back above 500. They have split their first 12 games. The Reds are 8-4. And in fact, this will be the first series the Reds have had in this young season where they will not win the series. They are hoping to get a split. Brewers with a chance to get 3 out of 4. They are 4-1 so far on this road trip. 3 more coming up after today, as Shaw will lift one into left field. Adam Duvall drifting back and near the corner. Secures it for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there is as much wind blowing out the left today as there's been, at least in 2 games of this series. There still is a breeze going out to left, but not too bad. That might have been interesting in yesterday's ball game, that fly ball.
Yeah, there was definitely more kick to the wind yesterday, and what you thought might be a lazy fly ball stood a good chance of getting out of the park. All things considered, given the conditions yesterday, the pitching was pretty good. A 7-5 game. Zach Davies, he got hurt on what really were pretty good pitches. Here's Hernan Perez with 2 down and 2 on in the first inning. This time yesterday, we were talking about Hernan and trying to get things going. He was 3 for his first 26. 24 hours later, we're talking about Perez having a 3-hit day and 4 at-bats. A homer, a double, drove in 3. Had a terrific day at the plate.
And his 4th at-bat was a bullet line drive to first base.
And a strong fastball at 97 evens the count. Hernan playing right field today. Big league debut of Sal Romano. It's a Double-A Pensacola all of last year. Rock mentioned that walks had not been a problem for Romano early on this season at Louisville, and they really weren't much of a problem last year at Pensacola. He had 27 starts down there at their Double-A affiliate. 156 innings pitched. He walked but 34 while striking out 144. Good command. 2 balls, 1 strike to Hernan Perez. A wave and a miss.
That's a good curveball. They got to give him a little bit of a kind of a break, kind of a mulligan type thing for, you know, command issues early in today's game, because a major league debut was unlike anything you've ever experienced.
Yeah. Most of us can only imagine. To pick your brain on that, what that was like the first time stepping on a field for a regular season game.
And it's kind of an out-of-body experience. I mean, for me, it was Arlington, Texas, and back in 1983, and it's almost like you don't feel anything. You don't even feel your feet hitting the ground that first inning. You're behind home plate. But that wears off as the game goes on. That first foul ball into your mask, or that first at bat, everything becomes somewhat normal again.
And it's surreal for another reason. Where am I? 2-2 pitch to Perez. Romano is the 6th Red already this season, making his major league debut. Which is how it can work when you are trying to rebuild your organization. Various ways to do it. A lot of young players here, obviously, on both sides in this 4-game set. Reds return to Cincinnati to start a series a week from tomorrow. Again, the 2-2 pitch. Romano to Perez, and that bounced up there.
Yeah, Barnhart been busy, hasn't he?
He sure has.
But if you're Barnhart, you prefer your young pitcher to be, if he's going to be wild down in the strike zone, not up.
All right, a full count to Hernan Perez. Thames, the runner at second. Braun at first. They'll be moving. See if Aaron can get into one, send it to the gap, and get the Brewers an early lead. Here's a 3-2, and that will fly out of play.
Sometimes it's amazing the pitches that Perez can reach. I mean, that wasn't even close. That was way off the corner. At least it looked like it.
Loaded up again. Ninth pitch of the at bat. Here it comes. And again, reaching out for it and staying alive.
This is exactly what you want to do to a young guy. Out on a big league mound the first time, make him work in the first inning. Next pitch will be number 34.
On a day like today, with the Reds having really worked their bullpen a bunch, that can be really significant.
Yeah, 5 relievers yesterday.
One more time, the 3-2, Romano to Perez. Runner's going, and he will need a 10th pitch. And Perez make it an 11th pitch. That was pitch number 10.
Kind of reminds you of yesterday's matchup between Davies and Schebler yesterday, where Schebler on pitch number 12 ended up hitting a homer.
Let's see that happen with Aaron here. Perez, not a guy who walks. He's walked just one time this season, 18 times last year. Again, the 3-2. That is hit in the air, center field. Billy Hamilton is there. And the Brewers let an opportunity slip away. A couple of walks, but they're left stranded. Willie Peralta has been outstanding in his first 2 starts. He's pitched well here. Let's find out if it continues today. Bottom of the first we go. The first inning, and now the Reds come calling for the first time this afternoon on what is right now a partly cloudy day here in Cincy. Let's check out the Reds batting order presented by Potawatomi. Billy Hamilton back at the top of the order. Arismendi Alcantara bats second and plays second, followed by Joey Votto. Adam Duvall hits cleanup. Eugenio Suarez and Scott Schebler 5 and 6. 7 through 9, Zach Cozart, Tucker Barnhart, and Sal Romano. And that's the order facing the Brewers' Willie Peralta.
Yeah, Willie is throwing the baseball well. We talked about him when we came on the air today. 2-0, a 245 earned run average. Very aggressive with a fastball. You see his numbers outstanding. Has not allowed a home run. That'll be put to a big test here today, pitching in this ballpark.
Will face Billy Hamilton, and attacking the first pitch is Hamilton. Brewers have been terrific at keeping him off the bases. On Thursday night, his first at bat of the series, he singled and came around to score, but he's 0 for 11 since. Peralta has pitched well in his career in this ballpark. The win-loss record lies. It's 1-3, but His ERA at 2.63.
And a big sample size, 14 starts.
Credit to Peralta. He was sent down last year and struggled when he was sent down, but came back up, and upon his return was terrific in his final 10 starts. Sometimes you wonder how a player who's had some success at this level would handle that, but he really seems to have handled it very well, and off to a terrific start for Craig Counsell here in 2017. We know it's early, but let's be honest, if he was flopping around through the first 2 games, that would be talked about. Right. So 2-0. 2 effective outings against the Rockies and the Blue Jays.
And it comes down to just being aggressive. That's what he's been. Not afraid to pitch the contact. I think down deep, I think Willie maybe thought he deserved the demotion, last year. I mean, the year before was not a very good one for him, and wasn't pitching well, and could have been the best thing for him.
Payoff pitch to Hamilton, and he got a piece of it, fouled it off his leg.
Nothing wrong with a wake-up call. It doesn't have to be a pitcher. Even position players, deal with that. Scooter Gennett got one. Was it last year he got sent down?
Yeah.
Year before? What was it?
Well, I mean, you just figure even this year, Rock, with being let go, they couldn't trade him, and then he comes over to Cincinnati, and maybe in that respect too.
And Scooter came back and then was swinging the bat well from Milwaukee. Now with the Reds.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Billy Hamilton. That's what you don't want to do. There's a walk, and one of the fastest men in baseball is on.
Yeah, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. You got Braun in left field. That's nothing new about that. Neuenheit's making his 3rd start in center field. Perez in right. You got Charles Arcia. You got Nick Franklin getting his first start at second base. 2nd start overall. His first start was at left field a week ago. Eric Thames at first, and the red hot hitting Manny Pena behind home plate.
There's Nick Franklin. And here is Arizmendi Alcantara getting a starting call here this afternoon. Jose Peraza not in the lineup. Alcantara, the original signing of the Chicago Cubs, originally signed with the Chicago Cubs, and then last year was traded to Oakland for Chris Coughlin. Reds claimed him off waivers in early October. Keep an eye on Billy Hamilton. He looked like he was feeling it still going to first base, but always a little skeptical with a guy like him who steals the bases the way he does.
Don't believe him.
Thank you. Want to know the count to Alcantara, who is 1 for 9 at the plate so far this year.
Billy Hamilton, not a guy that gets a huge lead. He doesn't need to. He's so fast. Very rarely able to pick him off because he doesn't get the kind of a lead that you see with Jonathan Villar.
Hamilton is 5 for 5 in the stolen base category, and had him leaning a bit there, did Peralta.
Jim, what's that thing called?
It's just a thing for a...
Want to know the count to Alcantara. Leadoff walk to Hamilton. Runner holds, and Peralta pours a fastball in there.
Hey, your number 2 hitter in this Cincinnati lineup needs to be a guy that can hit behind an account, because you figure these guys are going to, let Hamilton steal. A lot of times he'll just take off first pitch. There's not a whole lot of waiting around.
Hamilton is on the move now. Pitches outside. Throw for Pena. He got him. Whoa, a seed from Manny Pena, and Hamilton is sent to the dugout.
Well, he has been outstanding. I mean, Manny Pena, both sides, just behind the plate and at the plate, has been outstanding. Not a very good jump. Good throw, and Billy Hamilton knew right away that he was out. And he got up and just started running toward the dugout. That Pena, you throw guys like that out behind home plate, you get fired up.
No doubt.
Those are the guys you don't expect to throw out too often.
It's 4 out of 8 that Pena has thrown out. Base is empty, 1 out, and a 3-1 count to Alcantara. Hamilton doesn't get caught a lot. 3 years ago he did. The last couple, he's been close to 90%. That's the good news. The bad news is Peralta has just walked his second hitter of the day. Second hitter he's faced. So Alcantara is on. He's the new runner at first with one out for Joey Votto. You see what Votto has done as he continues to deal with the low batting average, but shown some early pop with the 3 homers, including going deep on Friday night. And first pitch swinging, Votto bangs one into right field. Alcantara turns second. The throw from Perez will go through, and the Reds have him at the corners with one out.
Joey Votto's had a lot of success against Willie Peralta. Now 12 for 35 with a home run. And not waiting around, picking on the first pitch. First pitch fastball, you figure, I guess you figured Willie's got to be throwing strikes at some point. Fastball down the middle, and he hits it hard into right field.
Now the Reds have a little something going in the first. Here's Adam Duvall. Duvall not in the lineup yesterday. He has scuffled in this series. And off to a pretty good start, but you see hitless in 8 at-bats on Thursday and Friday night combined. He too has homered 3 times. It's driven in 7.
Hey, you mentioned 0 for 8. A lot of strikeouts for Duvall in this series. Ryan, manager for the Reds, giving him yesterday off, maybe just to clear his head. Brian Price.
Jimmy Nelson really had him turned every which way on Thursday, punching him out 3 times. Ball a strike to Adam Duvall, an all-star last year. Big RBI numbers, including 21 against the Brewers alone. He drove in 103 in the year. Alcantara the runner at third, Votto at first. Sharply hit, just foul. As we mentioned, the breeze not quite like yesterday, but it looks like it might be picking up a touch. Hitter's kind of day. You're out here in the Midwest in April. You get a lot of those 40-degree days. We've had nothing close to that this weekend. It's been gorgeous.
It's perfect baseball weather, except if you're pitching, you don't like the way the wind's blowing. This is good hitting weather, good pitching weather.
A ball, 2 strikes to Adam Duvall. Fastball missing. An example of what you were talking about, Rock, with Davies. I mean, you know, a couple of the big hits that the Reds had were good pitches. They were not mistakes.
No. The home run to Chevrolet we were talking about, a curveball down and away, hooked it. You don't have to get all of one to hit it out of this ballpark.
Two pitch. Sharply hit, nice stop. Travis Shaw, they'll get one. Franklin the turn, and that's a double play. Oh, that is well executed. Travis Shaw starts an around the horn double play, and it keeps the Reds off the board. At the corners with one out. Happy homecoming, Travis Shaw. 5-4-3 as we finish a scoreless first inning in Cincinnati.
Set to lead off here for the Milwaukee Brewers. No score against the Reds, and the Brewer catching situation, Craig Counsell could not be happier. That's because one of the reasons is Manny Pena. He's getting a chance here now, and he spent a lot of time in the minors, as we know. Now getting the opportunity, and he's taking advantage of it. And Counsell said you have to have a lot of respect for a guy like that, sticking to it, and the big thing, not questioning anything they're doing along the way and still having the goal of getting to the majors. 478 clip rate now. He had a career high 4-hit game on Friday, and we just saw what he does best, throwing out base runners.
Yeah, Craig, that's a pretty impressive defense here in this first inning, and really throughout the series for the Crew. You see Pena throwing out Billy Hamilton, and he leading off. Travis Shaw starting a very sweet looking 5-4-3 double play.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I mean, the Brewers defense in this series has been very good. They've committed just one error, and that was right at the end of the game on Friday with a big lead.
And if you're going to commit an error, commit it when you're up 7 in the 9th, and that was what happened. The Reds scoring an unearned run, and instead of a 10-3 finish, it was a 10-4 finish. Plays you're supposed to make, and then the tough ones. Shaw did just that. Good turn by Franklin to complete that double play. Reds had him at the corners with one out.
And just showing good quickness and good balance. That's a tougher throw than it looks. Kind of falling down, able to get something on it right to second base, and Franklin with a quick turn saved a run.
2-2 pitch coming to Manny Pena. Second inning of work from Sal Romano. He walked a couple of Brewers in the first. Thames and Braun, but got out of it without a scratch. Another 3-2 count. Pena rips one, and that's a fair ball down the line, and that's going to get into the corner. And the Brewers catcher, who has been hitting a ton, continues the good stretch as he has a stand-up double.
Just quick as a cat with that bat through the strike zone. I mean, Pena, you talk about a guy that can hit line to line. I mean, Pena, he has shown in the first couple of weeks, not only can he go down that right field line, but, you know, Romano right there missed with a slider, just kind of spun up there, and he ripped it down the line for a double. Oh, he's something else right now. Doing everything well.
As Craig mentioned, 478 average coming into the game. Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. He gets the start today in center field. Young Buxton not in the lineup, and Neuenhuis gets greeted by getting hit in the back. So the Brewers again have a threat going. 2 on, nobody out in the second.
And neither pitcher has come out very sharp here today. Yeah, Romano, a couple of walks, now a hit batter. But again, the major league debut is something special, and you know the mindset of that is something you'll never experience again. Your major league debut, you just want to get through it without a whole lot of problems. The Reds have had a number of guys make their major league debut this year. Romano, one of 6 already this year.
See if the Brewers can knock him around a little bit. Here's Orlando Arcia. Brewers shortstop was hitless last night, but he was productive at the plate Thursday and Friday. Had 5 hits those 2 ball games. 3 on Thursday, 2 more on Friday night. The 8th spot of the batting order again for Counsell. You see that pitch count getting elevated in a hurry for Romano. That was his 45th, and we are just starting the second inning.
And again, I mean, that Reds bullpen worked a lot this series, and they used 5 different relievers yesterday.
It's a game, if you're the Brewers, you want that rain to stay away. You want to see if you can get into that pen and test him a little bit. Arcia lifts one into center field. Billy Hamilton going back at the track and makes the catch at the wall. He plays shallow because he can cover a ton of ground.
Yeah, that's the old saying, right? Why does he play so shallow? Because he can.
Yes.
He gets back there very quickly. I mean, he was an infielder in the minor leagues. He has learned how to play center field as a big leaguer, and Although there's not a whole lot of room in this ballpark here, but center field can be pretty deep. And RCA able to turn around a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Look at Hamilton. I mean, he has that one tracked all the way, right up against the wall, and hauls it in.
He's been in the mix for the Gold Glove Award. Hasn't won it yet, but he has certainly been in the conversation. Willie Peralta laying one down, and Votto will take a look over, but the play is at first, and the runners advance. They're at second and third with 2 men out. Back to the top of the order for Nick Franklin. Brewers stranded 2 in the first inning. They have him on second and third right now. Good bunt by Peralta, moving the runners up. Mentioned that 2-run triple Franklin had on Friday night. That was in the 7th inning. As the Brewers were having their way against the Cincinnati bullpen. Both bullpens had good stretches, terrific stretches coming into the series. The Reds pen hadn't given up anything over 21 innings until Friday night. Brewers had 11 straight without allowing an earned run, but as we all know, those streaks can't go forever. And
it's a game of averages, and sometimes that stuff will catch up to you.
Ball a strike to Franklin. Here's what we're talking about with Franklin on Friday, as he just shot one into the gap.
So a home run and a triple for Franklin in 2 hits, and accounting for 4 RBIs. So making the most of his 2 hits.
He was fired up, and why wouldn't he be? It was a impressive night for the Brewers after they spotted the Reds an early 3-0 lead. Fastball sails high, 2-1 the count to Franklin. In the leadoff spot today, a day off for Jonathan VR.
Yeah, he had played in every game, started in every game. Shaw got yesterday off. He had played in or started in every game up until yesterday.
Franklin, a little pop up. Zach Cozart is there to squeeze it, and the Brewers will strand 2 more. Second and third, unable to push him across, and we are through an inning and 1/2 of scoreless ball.
Play was a good wake-up call for him. You know, I think he looked at it like, all right, I got to get going, and he did. I mean, to his credit, he came back. He looked like a different guy. He pitched much more like he did, and you know, like he probably did the year before, especially in I think it was 2014 when he had such a good year. And you could see the confidence was different and the demeanor was different. And I see that now too.
Yeah, not the first guy that got sent down to the minor leagues and came back with a new lease on life. I mean, you don't get unlimited amount of opportunities, and the Brewers, I don't know if we were going to see Willie at any point last year if he got sent down, but injuries started to occur, and Willie came up and he was a different guy. Not that he was lights out down in Colorado Springs. It's awfully difficult to figure yourself out at Colorado Springs. It's such a good hitter's ballpark, but he did.
And Derek was right in that soundbite too, referring to the Peralta of 2014. That was the year that Willie won 17 games and 28 decisions, facing Eugenio Suarez, reaching out and tapping one to Orlando Arcia, and there's out number one. Arcia has that impressive errorless streak going back to last year.
And making all the routine plays and a lot of the really good plays. And Arcia is a guy that could be susceptible to the error because he makes so many of those acrobatic plays. I mean, up the middle, spinning around and throwing right as soon as he gets it out of his glove. But at this point, he has been right on the money. Guys with good range normally are going to have some errors because of that.
That spin move, it's like people have talked about that being a signature move. He absolutely is in complete control. Here's Schebler. Fly ball out to Kirk Neuenhuis. Has it measured. 2 up, 2 down in the second. Here's Zach Cozart. Give you a good news, bad news here from the Brewers' perspective. Bad news first. Cozart's been tearing the cover off the ball. Leads the National League in batting average. But Willie Peralta has really had the better of it against Cozart when they have faced. And Cozart just 3 for 26 against Peralta.
How often has the league's leading hitter been hitting in the 7th spot?
Good question. That's right.
Right? I mean, off to a great start, but again, that's his spot in the batting order, and Brian Price is going to stick to it. It's worked for him.
See that average, his on-base percentage is .538. It's had a terrific series.
Hitting about .380 at home this year so far. We're looking 2 weeks, but still, that's pretty good.
It is. Two balls, 2 strikes. Peralta with tempo, bringing the 2-2. Cozart with 6 hits in this series. Possesses a 10-game hitting streak coming into this series finale. Peralta walked 2 in the first inning, but got out of it. Courtesy of a double play, and also Billy Hamilton was caught stealing. Here's the payoff to Cozart, and that is strike 3 called. 99, and Peralta rings up the Red shortstop. Well, Eric Thames will be leading things off for the Brewers. He has hit 4 home runs in this series alone. Let's see what he has up his sleeve here today in Cincinnati. Brewers and Reds. Eric Thames will be leading things off, and talked about that hot start he has had, the 5 homers. That's the most a Brewer player has had in his first 10 games in the history of the franchise. Just by way of comparison, of course, Eric, the last 3 years in the Korean baseball organization, we know it's 10 games, but we throw that out there.
It's good context.
It is.
It is. I mean, when you consider, I mean, it's a completely different game over there when you talk about pitching. A lot more, fastballs. Guys throw a lot harder over here in the major leagues, and Thames has made a very nice adjustment.
Asuke Fukudomi and Ichiro. Ichiro probably has 2 or 3 hits today already.
Yeah.
If they're playing. Incredible. 1-1 the count to Thames. He has homered 4 times in the series. A ground ball to Alcantara that he has just gotten eaten up on. Thames is aboard, and Alcantara is having a rough start to his Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, just very nonchalant over there at second base. He dropped that pop-up and foul ground. This is about as routine as it gets. I mean, just rolls up the glove and take his eye off of it, and another error. So now the Reds with 4 errors. Alcantara himself has doubled the error total for the Reds in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, they're going in. The Reds, the Marlins, and the Phillies only guilty of the 2 miscues till today. Brewers get the leadoff man aboard for the 2nd straight inning, and here's Ryan Braun.
Yeah, one thing you expect out of your bench players is good, solid defense. I mean, anything you get offensively when you're not playing a lot, that's a bonus. But your manager, when he throws you out there at second base or wherever, you better not hurt the team defensively.
Want to know the Ryan Braun. That is hit in the air to right field. Scott Schebler drifting back, and it is gone. Ryan Braun does it again in Cincinnati, and the Brewers lead 2-0.
Well, the guy can just flat hit. I mean, there's not a whole lot left to say about his ability. We see it every day, and some take it for granted, but not up here. There's a high fastball at 95. That's a nice, easy swing. And Ryan Braun drives one out of here to the opposite field. That's just incredible talent. Ryan Braun able to get on top of that big fastball.
Number 4 for Braun this season, number 22 in his career at Great American Ballpark, and his 37th against the Reds. Here's Travis Shaw.
Hey, looked at the lineup when you come to the ballpark today. Kind of surprised to see Braun in the lineup. I mean, normally day games after night games in the middle of a long road trip, and ordinarily that's when Craig Counsell gives him the day off. So, it's always great when he is in the lineup, though.
We'll second that. See him in that number 3 spot. All right, here's Travis Shaw, and he sends one deep to right, and it's a happy birthday for Shaw. Turns 27 today, and he has started a double play, and he goes deep into the right field bleachers as the crew goes back to back.
Yes, we were talking about, I mean, the swing that he has, you don't expect a real prolonged slump. It stays on the ball so nicely. Hit that one about 3/4 the way up in the bleachers in the right. That was a blast.
Number 2 on the year for the birthday boy, Travis Shaw.
What's he got, 1 single this year?
Yeah, he's just
it's all extra base hits.
Yes, indeed. 3-run inning, still nobody out. Here's Hernan Perez. The Brewers had a couple of threats turned back in innings 1 and 2, but they are not messing around here as Shaw knew it right away.
That fastball straight as a string, and watch where it ends up. I mean, that's like crosshairs right down the middle. Watch where it ends up. Way back, way up there in the bleachers.
Ten hits, 2 homers, 5 doubles, a triple.
You don't get away with pitches like that in the major leagues.
And Romano might be feeling it a little bit right now as he walks there on Perez. Thames reached on an error. Braun went deep. Shaw went deep. Perez walks, and Brian Price, knowing that his bullpen has had a ton of work. It's an 8-man pen for him again.
Yeah, they've got a new guy. Edelman got called up, so he might be a fresh arm out in that pen that perhaps can give him some innings. Romano at 64 pitches. Nobody out in the 3rd inning.
The Reds yesterday sent down Jesse Winker, who had a big hit for the Reds. He's getting his first major league exposure Friday night and yesterday afternoon. But Price has to restock that bullpen. Braun with that home run, by the way, he has just moved into 2nd place all time in Brewers history in RBIs, passing Cecil Cooper. As Braun continues to move up the charts. Of course, he's the all-time home run leader. 945 runs batted in now for Braun.
And still has plenty of years left. He's 33.
There is that home run that drove home a couple.
High fastball, nice easy swing. RBI number 945.
The count to Manny Pena in conference now. Braun, if you look him up, he's going to have pretty good numbers against just about everybody. But the numbers tell you that he particularly enjoys playing the Reds and really likes playing them here.
And made the mistake in asking him what it is about this ballpark and the Reds. And hitters hate that when you ask them that. All he said was, I really see the ball well here. And that's about all you're going to get out of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to
give away any secrets or jinx themselves by saying something that might come back to haunt them. But again, show me a team that he doesn't have good numbers against.
Yeah. It has been such a steady and consistent player, and a flair for the big at bat in the big moment.
And the number of home runs and the number of RBIs. I mean, that's a function of how many times you play teams in your own division. I mean, 19 times.
Romano missing again. It's now 3-0 to Manny Pena. Sal Romano got off the hook in innings 1 and 2. The Brewers left him at 1st and 2nd in the 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the 2nd. Crew is hacking away here in inning number 3. A couple of home runs already, and Romano sails one high. And after an error and back-to-back homers, Romano has given up back-to-back walks.
Those errors have really hurt Romano. I mean, that foul pop that he missed, talking about Alcantara, cost him a number of pitches in the 1st inning. And it's a big difference if you have 1 out, nobody on, Braun coming up, as opposed to a guy at first base. You're working out a stretch. Things are starting to get away from you, and those errors they hurt.
Now here's Kirk Neuenhuis. He was hit by a pitch. Romano walking 4, and he has plunked a batter already. We'll see if Kirk can get things going. In limited playing time, he's in and out. Sometimes a sub later in the game, getting a starting call today. He's 1 for his first 18, but the 1 hit was a homer.
Yeah, the only left-handed hitting outfielder the Brewers have. So this is the reason why he's on the ball club. You know, situations like this, Keon Broxton needs a day off. And it's awfully difficult to keep that swing when you're not getting consistent at bats.
Maybe a big chance here for him to find a little rhythm against a struggling pitcher making his big league debut. Three in the inning already. 2-run blast from Braun, solo shot from Shaw, and that's Tim Adelman, who just mentioned. Rock mentioned a couple of minutes ago, called up after yesterday's game. Nice, fouls it out of play. Still nobody out. Chance here for the Crew to put together a really big inning. 3 on the board so far. Two balls, 2 strikes to Neuenhuis. Foul tip that Barnhart will hang on to, and there's out number 1.
Yeah, went with a slider that time and put it in a decent spot, outer half, but up in his zone. He bought himself another hitter. Adelman, a starter down in the minor leagues, so he is certainly a guy that can give you multiple innings.
That's exactly what Brian Price is bracing for here. To see if Romano can get through this 3rd inning as the 8th hitter Orlando Arcia is at the plate. He sent Billy Hamilton to the wall in the 2nd inning. And Arcia showing some signs that, again, in the step-by-step process, that things are starting to at least trend in the right direction. He was hitless yesterday, but I mentioned 5 knocks in the series.
He adjusted his hands and his setup, you know, in Toronto, and it's feeling comfortable for him right now. It's always a process of adjustments. I don't care how many years you've been in the game. You just got to find a way to feel comfortable at the plate, in that batter's box, and figure out a way to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball.
As we mentioned this weekend, Darnell Coles, he just talked about how you try to give these guys a little bit to work on. Don't overload them. Just know it's going to take some time. Arcia with a bouncing ball to Cozart. There's the flip to Alcantara, and the throw to first is not in time. Arcia legs it out. Hit the force of Pena at second, and the Crew has him at first and third with 2 men out.
You know, that's going to clear Willie Peralta, so he's not going to lead off in the 4th inning. A good hustle by Arcia getting down the line. Not really a double play ball you wouldn't expect with Arcia getting down the line. The high chopper, he beats it.
Busting up the line, Orlando Arcia.
He's bigger than you think. He's got those long strides, and he can make up a lot of ground.
Here's Willie Peralta. Has a hit already this season. You and BA have talked about it, and Craig, he's one of those guys who can put on a display when the pitchers get their cuts in before the game. He homered last year. He's come close more than once in games.
Yeah, there was a lot of us that were all-stars in batting practice.
Well, some of us probably couldn't hit very well in batting practice either. Arcia on the run, and he will have it uncontested.
And you start spinning it up there on you. That's when problems start to happen.
Arcia now at second, so the Brewers have it at second and have him at second and third. 2-0 the count to Peralta. And check it out now, 3-0. Romano has walked 4 already. 3 balls, 1 strike. And now the count runs full. As Rock mentioned, if nothing else, the Brewers have turned over the lineup. And Peralta trying to see if he can extend this 3rd inning, which has been a good one already. This has popped up in foul territory, room for Votto, and that'll do it for Milwaukee here in the 3rd. But the Brewers play long ball once again. Ryan Braun, his 2nd of the weekend, a 2-run shot, and then Travis Shaw drives one into the bleachers, and it's 3-0 Brewers after 2.5.
Three-0 lead over the Reds as we head down to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Good start here for the Brewer crew. Time now for our car soup scoop from the clubhouse. Craig Counsell was talking today about the lineups. They're a fun challenge for him, and we see it with a guy like Perez starting at 3rd yesterday, coming through with the 3 hits. He gets the start out in right field. Very versatile lineups, of course, for Craig Counsell. Not a challenge for him. It's a fun challenge for sure. Starting pitching on this road trip, guys, has been outstanding. Even the last 2 starts by Malone, especially the other day, coming through and at least holding his club firm through 5 innings. That's happened on at least every one of these starts so far. And then Jonathan Villar has the day off today. Yesterday, remember, he was picked off second base again, and Craig Counsell was saying those are the situations you have to avoid. You have to be cognizant of the situation. They had the pitcher on the ropes. You got to force that pitcher to make mistakes and must let him get out of his own jam. Can't help but long. He says those are teaching moments, and he said certain players, you can't learn them all one time around. They have to be patient with them. The only other alternative is to quit, and certainly they don't want to do that right now.
All right, Craig, thanks a lot. Tucker Barnhart leads off, and he grounds out to Nick Franklin to begin the 3rd.
Yeah, that 6th inning in Toronto, I mean, he was in trouble, and normally in a situation like that, Craig Counsell would go to a bullpen that had been throwing the baseball very well, but there are certain times and certain guys you've got to give a little bit of a longer leash and allow them to get in their own trouble and get out of their own trouble, and really did a good job of it.
He did, and he's worked out of some trouble early in this game in the 1st inning with the help of a caught stealing and a 5-4-3 double play. Michael Lorenzen will come in to pinch hit. Now, he's a pitcher, but he can hit. So Brian Price making the move as he has seen all he cares to see today from Sal Romano in his major league debut.
And here's the problem with only 4 players on your bench. The Brewers, or I should say the Reds, have 4 players on the bench. They have 8 relievers, and this is the issue that you run into when you don't have that 5th guy.
Lorenzen is one of those pitchers who has no problem stepping to the plate. Matter of fact, he already has a hit in this young season.
So apparently he's not going to pitch today.
Apparently not. He earned his first career save yesterday.
He's a reliever. He's a reliever. Okay. So I guess Craig Calhoun doesn't have to worry about having him come in.
It's not.
Usually you have your starting pitcher. One of your starting pitchers do this, but apparently Lorenzen had worked a couple of days in a row. Not available today. He's showing his hand and putting him up the plate right now. Interesting stuff.
It is. We've seen some interesting maneuvering in this series. There's a one-hopper to Arcia. That's out number 2.
Yeah, bringing his closer in what, the 5th inning yesterday?
Right. Lorenzen getting a save, first of his career yesterday.
So you can scratch off Lorenzen as a possible reliever today. Okay.
The 8-man pen today is really a 7-man pen today. Figure Price would like to see a big old thunderstorm come through here right now. Will help.
I mean, that's one that I've never seen before.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of things. We saw that the other night where the umpire gave a baseball to Turner. You know, the ball was live. It was a ball 4 that got by him.
Right.
Ryan Braun walked. The ball squirted by the catcher, and the catcher just kind of put his glove back, and the umpire, Gary Cedarstone, dropped the ball in there in a live play.
It's one of those, even the veteran umpire, like, yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah, I messed up.
This is the second time already today that Hamilton has fouled one off his leg. But yeah, even the veteran guys, they know. Sometimes you just make a mistake.
You know, the mistake I think was, Turner maybe didn't know it was ball 4. He puts his glove back like, I don't think the umpire in that situation, Cedarstrom, knew that the ball got by the catcher. Because the catcher's not going to do that if he doesn't catch a ball and a ball 4.
Well, you've seen a couple of unusual situations with catchers this season. How about Yadier Molina a few days ago? Ball sticks to the chest protector.
Maybe ask him about that when he comes to Miller Park.
2-2 pitch. And a little pop-up. Franklin says he has it, and he does in a 1-2-3 inning in the second in a row for Willie Peralta. Through 3, it's 3-0 Brew Crew. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. So far, so good here with the weather. Nice and dry right now, and so far, so good on the scoreboard. 3-0 Brewers lead the Reds as we move to the top of the 4th. Great American Ballpark. Sal Romano's debut is done. He works the first 3, and then He gives way now to Tim Adelman.
Yeah, Adelman, a big guy, 6'5", 220 pounds, and had a few appearances with the Reds last year. Was down in AAA, gets the call up. He was actually scheduled to start in last night's game down in the minor leagues, scratched in the event they needed him here. So lo and behold, here he is, and you figure he's going to give Brian Price a few innings.
Remember, he used Raisel Iglesias yesterday, who had, or still leads the team in saves, but he used him in innings 5 and 6. Here's Nick Franklin leading things off. Top of the order here for the Crew. Franklin, Thames, and Braun. Franklin has struck out, and he has popped out to Zach Cozart. Milwaukee with a 3-run third inning, a 2-run homer from Ryan Braun, a solo shot from Travis Shaw. 1-1 pitch to Franklin, misses in. Start number 2 as a Brewer for Nick Franklin.
Adam with a fastball, low 90s. Maybe his best pitch is a curveball. A 2-seamer, 4-seamer, those were his numbers last year.
Franklin sends one out to left field. Drifting back is Adam Duvall. One out here in the 4th. Adelman 13 starts last year for Cincinnati. Facing Eric Thames. Adelman originally drafted by the Orioles back in 2010. Signed with the Reds back in October of 2013. Thames today has walked. He's reached on an error. That's how the third inning started for the Brewers. A ground ball that was booted by Arizmendi Alcantara, and Ryan Braun followed with a 2-run homer.
He has really done a good job handling the fastball in. A concern of his coming into spring training. Coming in again.
That is strike 3, swing and a foul tip that Barnhart secures. 2 up, 2 down in the 4th. 2 outs, bases empty for Ryan Braun. Time now for our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. It happened an inning ago with this 2-run home run. It gives him career RBIs 944 and 945, and then Travis Shaw makes it back-to-back as the Brewers hang 3 on the board against Sal Romano in the 3rd. Ronnie, a couple of home runs in the series. 4 homers, 8 RBIs on this young season. 1-strike pitch from Tim Adelman. Curve is in there, and it's 0-2.
And dropped it right down the middle of the plate.
Reds pitching has not had a 1-2-3 inning yet. Brewers were putting on a lot of traffic against Sal Romano. Pushed across 3 in the 3rd. Two strikes and nothing. Adelman against Ryan Braun. A swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Adelman. As the Brewers, in fact, go down 1-2-3. We move to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Brewers. The fourth in Cincinnati. Yeah, they're getting along. You got one rooting for the right team, the other rooting for Cincinnati. Fox Sports Support's proud to team up with Girls on the Run and their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Learn more about how you can get involved as a volunteer or a participant at the upcoming Girls on the Run 5K in your area by visiting foxsportsupports.com. 2, 3, and 4 in the Cincinnati order against Willie Peralta. There is Mindy Alcantara. He'll be followed by Votto and Duvall. And Alcantara will lift one into left field. Waiting for it is Ryan Braun, and quickly there's one out. Peralta settling into a nice little groove here. He got into some trouble in the first. Back-to-back walks to Hamilton and Alcantara. Hamilton was caught stealing, and then eventually Adam Duvall hit into an ending double play. Votto had a hit. Reds looked like they had something going, but Peralta and then some defense.
Yeah, talking about your defense picking up your pitching, and that ball got by Shaw. I mean, that would have been a run in, first and third, and Willie Peralta not only has allowed a run already, but he was in a big jam. So, you know, Travis Shaw able to get him out of that mess.
Nice tight defense played by the Brewers here, and there's a ground ball, and Shaw staying with it right on cue. Nice play by Thames over at first. As that took a nasty hop. Thames staying with it, feeds Peralta for the second out.
Defense, 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 right? I mean, it's all about helping the pitcher. This is a bullet, bad hop, almost takes his head off, but able to get the out at first base. That's why you never assume anything. You never nonchalant a ground ball. You never know when you're going to get a bounce like that. We saw Alcantara early in the game take a ground ball for granted. Ended up in error. That's a nice play by Thames.
Yeah, those sunglasses popped off. Eric stays with it, and there are 2 men out in the fourth. Base is empty for Adam Duvall. All 0 for 9 here in the series.
That's all.
Reds with just the one hit. That was by Votto in the first inning. Peralta has retired the last 9 Reds he has faced. 2-1 the count. Field swung around to the left side. It's really more news when you don't see that, it seems now.
Right.
Brewers do a lot of adjusting.
Just about every team, every player.
Peralta's trying to stay away from what would be his third walk issued here today, and he's unable to do so. Breaking ball missed, and Duvall is a 2-out base runner.
Interesting pitch selection that time for Willie on 3-1. You got a 3-run lead, goes with a breaking ball. As good as that fastball has been, he went with the off-speed pitch. Hey, this Saturday, the Brewers take on the Cardinals on Beatles Night, presented by Wisconsin Lottery. Fans will enjoy a post-game laser show set to musical stylings of the Fab Four, plus a limited edition T-shirt included as part of the special theme night ticket package.
You ever think of being a DJ back in the day? Introduce some little Beatles like that? No? Just curious. Here's Eugenio Suarez deep to left, and that is a no-doubter. Second level, Suarez a 2-run homer. Talk about players off to a terrific start on both sides. Suarez is very much in that conversation.
Yep, after the walk, Suarez able to put this one way back out there into left field. Another breaking pitch. They took a little bit extra off of that ball and right down the middle. And look what Suarez does to it. So Willie going away from the fastball here on a 3-1 pitch to Adam Duvall, walks him, and then first pitch to Suarez. Off speed, knocks it out of the ballpark.
He had retired 9 in a row. And suddenly it's a 1-run game. Scott Schebler. A fly ball to Kirk Neuenhuis in center in the second inning. Now 2 strikes and nothing to the Cincinnati right fielder. The 2 pitch is popped up, and Arcia will call for it. And that'll do it for the Reds, but they make something happen after 2 men were outs. Eugenio Suarez a 2-run homer. It's a 1-run game. Two Reds scoring twice in the bottom of the 4th inning. Time now for our Powerball home run count. Travis Shaw celebrating his 27th birthday today, and he celebrates in style a solo homer, his 2nd home run of the year for Milwaukee. Part of that 3-run 3rd inning for the Brewers. They move to the top half of the 5th. Shaw, Perez, and Pena against Tim Adelman, his 2nd inning on the mound for Cincinnati. Back into the game. The Brewers with 3-0 lead. Peralta retired the first 2 Reds at the bottom of the 4th, and then a walk to Adam Duvall, a 2-run homer to Eugenio Suarez.
Yep, and a first pitch curveball. I guess if you're walking up there and facing Willie Peralta, the last thing you're thinking is get me over curveball as hard as he throws. But Suarez up there, he's looking for it and got the Reds to within 1 run. Little changeup right there from Adelman.
Peralta has given the Brewers 2 good outings to begin this season. Going to make it 3 straight here this afternoon. Tim Adelman just called up after the game yesterday. 2-2 pitch to Shaw. That's lined out of play. We mentioned that the Reds were working with an 8-man pen. Actually, it's 9 today.
Yeah, I was counting them between innings. I couldn't believe 9. You ever seen a 9-man bullpen?
Can't say that I have.
Obviously, you're going to have to make a move for a starter at some point the next couple of days, but that's a lot of guys down there. Well, one of them's not available.
used Michael Lorenzen as a pinch hitter. He pulled Sal Romano. Price has some guys in that pen who have been and could be again starting pitchers. There's a fly ball out to Adam Duvall. And Shaw is retired, 1 out of the 5th.
Yeah, the other thing to consider with Raisel Iglesias, he very rarely, if ever, pitches back-to-back days. So he threw 2 innings yesterday. So really, it's not 9, it's back to 7 at this point.
Try to get all that straight.
Right.
Price going 5 deep yesterday into the pen. Here's Hernan Perez. Had a 3-hit afternoon yesterday. He's flied to center and has walked so far today. One pitch to Hernan is chopped foul.
By the way, I wished you a happy Easter. I don't think I have.
That's okay. Happy Easter, Rock.
Yeah. Sometimes you forget about that kind of stuff on the road, you know.
Well, a swing and a miss from Hernan Perez. Quickly 2 out in the 5th.
And I wish all my family back in Milwaukee a happy Easter. Wish I could be with you. I'll even share some of my peeps here that our stage director Audrey gave me, and I don't share my peeps with many people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One of my favorites. The peep. Oh, little chicks.
You gotta have a peep.
Yeah.
On this day, without a doubt, Manny Pena in the air, shallow right. And Scott Schebler, and that's another quick inning as Tim Adelman has faced 6. He has retired 6. Still 3-2 Brew Crew. We saw Brewers Live pregame. The 30 years ago, time flies. The Brewers with that incredible 13-0 start. Included the Juan Nieves no-hitter. Robin Yount laying out for the catch in the final outs. Robin Eddie Murray. As there was a young Bill Schroeder getting out there, and was the Easter Sunday thriller. The 13-0 start for the Brewers. Celebrate that here this weekend. Zach Cozart, first pitch swinging, and a fly ball to Ryan Braun for out number 1. We mentioned Rock was the catcher, of course, for Nieves. Check out, Rock, what you did. First of all, that's a handsome dude right there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Adelman laying one down, and Pena's going to throw it down to second. Risky move. Yes and no over at first.
They got him at second.
Yes, they did. I mean, that was close, but
yeah, the Reds are going to take a look at this one.
Gary Cedarstrom over there calling the runner out at second.
See, both managers, I think, are looking. I mean, Pat Murphy wants to know if they got him at first, and Brian Price wants to know if they got him at second. This will be interesting.
Yeah, this might take a while. That 2-minute guideline, well, that could be kind of loose.
Well, now it's 4, right?
Exactly.
Well, check it out. This is a big risk. And the problem that they have at second, if Barnhart never slides, it looks like he's got it beaten at first base. And it looks like they're going to go to a review. Now, who's going to get the review? Craig Counsell or Brian Price? And if they both want to go to a review, who gets it first? Interesting.
It is.
This is a first for us.
Well, you're right, Barnhart, though. It looked like he was tapping the brakes. Well, that's going to be an easy one.
Yeah, he's safe. I don't think the Brewers are going to look at that. It's the one at second base that's going to be the interesting call.
Barnhart, he was putting on the brakes instead of sliding into second. The call on the field from Gary Cedarstrom is that he was out. Barnhart was out at second. Risky move there by Pena. Let's see if this call holds up.
He looks like he's going to be out at second. We saw a replay up on the scoreboard. It looks like he's clearly out, but that's just bad base running. I mean, that's just lazy base running. What is the cost of sliding?
Right.
If he slides, he's out easily, or he's safe easily. He's going to be out at second. Good play, good call by Cedarstrom. But he's clearly safe at first base.
So that'll be 2-6 to erase Barnhart. Adelman will be the runner now at first, and they continue the review, but as you just saw from that last look, that looked clear. Should be out at second, safe at first.
Maybe they're looking at both of them at the same time, right? I can't imagine why Counsell would challenge this one. He was clearly safe at first base, or at least it looked like it.
Yeah.
Now it's when the baseball makes contact with the glove and out at second base. Yep.
And that is the one and only challenge there made. So
well, you make a mistake like that on the baseball field, you're Tucker Barnhart. I mean, what do you say? I mean, how do you explain that? Why you not slide and get in safely at second base? I mean, that's inexcusable. That's just terrible.
The Brewers will take it. And there are 2 men out as the lineup turns over to Billy Hamilton. Tim Adelman is the runner at first. Well, the Reds still watching the rehab assignment of Devin Mesoraco. They've been extending his work behind the plate. He's had some back-to-back appearances. Give him an off day, and then they want to work him back-to-back again. It's the Barnhart-Stewart-Turner combo, mostly Barnhart.
Yeah, but that's so unlike Tucker Barnhart.
Right.
I mean, he's a grinder. I mean, this guy he's a very good catcher. He's done a terrific job over the last couple of years for Cincinnati, and I mean, he's a guy that's going to give you a max effort all the time. Yeah. Just surprising.
Yeah, one of those assumptions, right, that the play's automatically going to go to first. And Pena showing that arm again. There's a roller to Arcia and a nice scoop by Eric Thames, and that'll do it for the Reds in the 5th. Halfway through the series finale, 3-2 Milwaukee.
Brewers going to bat, clinging to a 1-0 lead. Time now for our crew in the community. We all know the heroes on the field, but this season the Brewers and Meyer want to honor the real heroes of our community. Each month, one outstanding individual will be recognized as the Brewers Community Achiever, presented by Meyer. If you know someone who has contributed to their neighborhood in an extraordinary way, nominate them by visiting brewers.com/community. Good ball game so far here. The Brewers trying to win their second straight series here in Cincinnati before they go on to Chicago for 3 games. And so far that starting pitching guys get in trouble a little bit, but still getting out and holding their own so far. The starters each and every game in this series so far.
Yeah, they are, and some good defense helping out Willie Peralta here this afternoon as we are in the books now as we move to the 6th inning. Still a threat of rain, not at the moment, but it's game on as we move to the top of the 6th. A 3-2 lead for the Brewers.
Yep, it's official.
Yes, sir. Told all weekend it would be raining by now, but still dry as we move to inning number 6. Hillenheis leading things off, bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9. Tim Adelman on for his 3rd inning of work. He has retired all 6 Brewers he has faced, striking out 3 in the process.
Yeah, throwing well, throwing strikes, good curveball, throwing a couple of changeups.
2 balls, 1 strike to Nieuwenhuis. Out in front there to even the count.
And the location has not been perfect. I mean, there have been times where Barnhart's setting up inside and he'll throw one that sinks on the outside corner to get an out. Missed his spot that time with a changeup. Did it again. Barnhart setting up and in. He threw it away on the outside corner. He does have a lot of movement on his fastball. 2-seamer and the 4-seamer.
And a wave and a miss from Nieuwenhuis for out number 1 in the 6th.
4 strikeouts already.
It's been impressive. Sal Romano worked the first 3, gave up 3 runs, 2 of which are earned. Some control issues, walking 4, striking out a couple, and gave up 2 home runs, 1 to Braun and 1 to Shaw. Adelman perfect so far. Here's Orlando Arcia. And curve catches Arcia. Can't hold up. 0-1. Brewers trying to take 3 out of 4. Keep the momentum going here in this road trip after winning 2 in Toronto. And the first 2 here before falling short yesterday afternoon. 3-game set in Chicago begins tomorrow night. Night games tomorrow and Tuesday. An afternoon game to wrap up the road trip on Wednesday. Then a nice long homestand.
Yeah, going to be nice to get home. Cardinals and Reds. Who else is coming in?
We got the Braves coming in.
Right.
Here's Arcia with a fly ball out to Schebler. Quickly 2 men out.
Hey, today's time of the game winner, Fat Joe's in Fond du Lac, if they call the Brewers. And by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller Lite, Fat Joe's in Fond du Lac.
Yes, sir. Willie Peralta, 2 outs, bases empty. Oh, good cut by Willie and a base hit.
And that one had good sound to it.
It sure did. Talk about that yesterday with Eric Thames. It sounded good, looked better. It sounded good. It works just fine for Peralta.
Pitchers love that, don't they?
So does
Getting
Domingo.
base hits.
Yeah, so does Domingo Santana.
Missed his spot again. Well, he has not been pinpoint as Adelman. He has been effective, but that pitch leaked in the middle part of the plate. It was supposed to be on the outside corner.
Nick Franklin hitless today.
Good control's overrated, I guess.
I guess. Well, we saw Zach Davies with some good pitches that got hit. Franklin a fly ball to left his last at bat. Hard cut there, but he's down 2 strikes and nothing. Brewers scored their runs in the 3rd. The Reds picked up theirs in the 4th. Long ball a factor. Mentioned the 2 Brewer bombs. Suarez has gone deep with a man on for Cincinnati. 0-2 pitch to Franklin. And it's hit in the air to center field. Going back is Hamilton, reaching up, and he makes the catch. My goodness.
Man, that is an incredible catch. That would have scored a run. Amazing.
Well, he has done this multiple times in his career, his young career, as he takes away extra bases from Nick Franklin on a spectacular play.
Yeah, amazing. Something else.
3-2 Brewers. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Yeah, we have seen some really good defense here today. The Brewers leading the Reds 3-2. Good solid work again by the Brewers. And a spectacular play to end the top half of this inning by Billy Hamilton, who takes away extra bases from Nick Franklin.
Just incredible. I mean, what makes his play so remarkable is how shallow he plays. He turns around, he gets to full speed very quickly, and makes an acrobatic catch. That ball was slicing as it got over his head. Actually had to reach back across his body and making a heck of a catch. Well, he's something else.
And his pitcher was waiting for him there, because that's an RBI waiting to happen. After a 2-out single from Willie Peralta, Franklin looked like he was going to send one to the wall in center.
That would have scored, Willie.
I think so. Hamilton robs Franklin, and we move to the bottom half of the 6th. And Willie Peralta will be working against Arizmendi Alcantara. He has walked, he has flied to left, and he has also committed a couple of errors, showing bunt and a pitch that missed. Peralta in his last start against the Blue Jays worked 6. His pitch count that night was 112. .65 so far for Willie through 5+. Alcantara, Votto, and Duvall. Sharply hit. Thames is there. 1 out. It's been in a rhythm here. There was that bump in the 4th inning when Peralta walked Duvall and then hung a curveball to Suarez. He has been really, since the 1st inning, rolling along pretty well.
I think the mindset for Willie Peralta would have been a lot different going into that 2nd inning had Travis Shaw not made that play. I mean, he might have given up a couple of runs. Who knows? 1 run certainly would have scored.
There's Joey Votto.
Well, you can just see, you know, the reaction that Willie had after they turned the double play in the 1st inning. That fired him up. I mean, talk about giving a pitcher momentum. That's what defense can do for you.
Yeah, that 1st inning had the makings of being a mess. He walked Hamilton and Alcantara. Hamilton was caught stealing. Here's Pena taking care of Billy Hamilton. He doesn't get thrown out often. But Brewers catchers the last couple of years have had success. And here's that double play. Shaw starts it. That is a sweet 5-4-3 off the bat of Adam Duvall. And Willie was fired up. And here's Eric Thames, too. Lost the glasses but made the play. And then Votto here just gets hit by Peralta.
Man, that one not even close. I mean, Votto able to kind of twist himself out of the way, and check it out. That ball up and in gets him right on the shoulder, back of the arm, and Votto has had a lot of success against Peralta already with a hit today. Trying to come inside, just got away from him.
Votto pops right back up, but he is now the 1-out runner at first for the Reds.
Now, last thing you want to do is, you know, hit a guy, put a man on with a 1-run lead.
And especially when someone like Duvall is at the plate. Breakthrough season last year for Cincinnati. As part of that Mike Leake trade a couple of years ago in July with the San Francisco Giants. Made his opportunity work for him last year. Into a double play, as we mentioned. He's also walked. A swing and a miss there on a fastball.
It seems like he's had an issue with fastballs in this series. Brewers have been throwing fastballs right by him.
And from Thursday night on, Jimmy Nelson was just popping him in there, and Duvall had no chance. 1 out, 1 on, and a 1-run lead for the Brewers. Two runs, 3 hits for the Reds, 3 runs, 4 hits for the Crew. Willie Peralta looking for his 3rd straight strong outing to begin this season. A winner in each of his first 2. As you mentioned, the Brewers have played errorless baseball again. Here's the 2-1.
That fastball again to Duvall that was pretty much right down the middle of the plate. I mean, last year, early in the year, that ball would have been in the stands. That would have been a homer. He's just a little tick behind that fastball.
Here we go, a 2-2 count to Duvall. Let's find out what Peralta brings. The 2-2 pitch. It just missed the corner. Full count.
Well, they're staying fastball with him.
Big pitch coming up here for Willie. Contra rounded out. Votto hit by a pitch. A full count to Adam Duvall. Here's the payoff. And we'll do it again.
Oh, the curveball. Duvall doing a pretty good job just getting a bat on that. That was a pretty good pitch after seeing nothing but fastballs until that.
Here we go again. 3-2 pitch. Fastball fouled away at 98.
Joey Votto's got next to no lead. He's not even given the impression that he might take off. I guess one of the reasons Brian Price going to hold him at first is that Duvall's been striking out a lot,
including 3 times on Friday night. You see that very short lead for Votto. Again the 3-2. And a ground ball to Shaw. There's Franklin for 1, and the turn not in time. It looked like Nick had a little trouble getting out of his glove. They erase Votto. 2 men out. Duvall, the runner at first.
Yeah, Duvall gets down the line really well. I'm not sure they would have turned it anyway, but you're right. They want to make sure a 1. Shaw took his time to get it to second base. And you're right. I mean, I think he didn't have a grip on it initially, so you want to make sure. Make sure 1. That's what they did. And Duvall able to beat it at first base.
You're right, though, about Duvall. He does run well. He's busting it up the line, and got to be careful with this guy now. Eugenio Suarez. His 2-run homer represents the Reds scoring here this afternoon. That happened in the 4th inning. Just an outstanding start all the way around for Suarez. 0-1 pitch. That's it in the air, right field. Hernan Perez runs it down. Inning over. Suarez hit it hard. Perez had it covered. We're through 6. Still 3-2 Brewers. The Reds 3-2 as we move to the top half of the 7th here in Cincinnati. Hey, MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on more than 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit MLB.TV for details. Had that app, you would have had a chance to check out the statue dedication. Jackie Robinson, for Jackie Robinson at Dodger Stadium yesterday. A great ceremony. Vin Scully among those on hand. Just a terrific ceremony they had on Jackie Robinson Day. Celebrated in grand style all throughout baseball, but especially at Dodger Stadium. Eric Thames, Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw leading off 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Reds have kept Thames quiet today. He has walked. That was in the first inning. He has been very loud with the bat in the series. He has homered 4 times, including twice yesterday as Tim Adelman stays in there and drops a curveball. It's 1-1. Make it 1-2 to Thames. Adelman's been impressive. Giving up just 1 hit through 3 innings, and that 1 hit allowed was to Peralta. 1-2 pitch to Thames.
And we'll see the Brewers if they have better swings against Adelman second time through. Get a better sense of what he throws, what his pitches do in the strike zone.
Thames gets a second look, and that's deep to right field, and that's the 5th home run of the weekend for Eric Thames. Wow.
I'll tell you, talk about being on a roll, right? I mean, it's one thing to be getting this many hits, but a lot of home runs for Eric Thames. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run. What's new? A home run for Eric Thames here in Cincinnati. Wow. How about this fastball? See you later, right down the middle, and Thames did not waste it. Boy, he has got a quick bat in that zone. He pops those hips open and barrels it up halfway up the bleachers. Wow.
That is a serious on-cue comment by you. Second time around, and Thames just pounds another one out of the ballpark.
Yeah, again, it's location. I mean, Adelman was getting away with pitches really that weren't designed to be thrown where they were going, but he was getting outs. That time left one down the middle. It's not that easy. He does pull his hands in nicely. I mean, he really does on pitches middle in. Able to barrel him up.
Braun with a roller scooped up by Suarez, and that's out number 1. Let's check out that Powerball home run leaderboard. Eric Thames with 6. Including 5 on the weekend. That last blast traveled 423 feet, by the way. Ryan Braun, he homered on Thursday night. Jonathan Villar with 3. And the Brewers, we mentioned, they are distributing the power. Eric Thames is putting on a power hitting clinic this weekend.
He has 6 home runs, tied for the National League lead with Cespedes.
Brewers have now homered 22 times already this season. The 19 they had that entered the day was second only to the Mets as a team. You mentioned Cespedes with the 6. The Mets as a team leading the National League with 22. So we'll see what the Metropolitans do today, but the Brewers with 22 bombs of their own. Travis Shaw has one of them today. Brewers went back-to-back in the 3rd. Braun and then Shaw.
I like that. Metropolitan.
The Metropolitans.
Well done.
I would tell you that it's stolen. The guy next door, who I used to listen to when I lived in this state, would refer to him that way every now and then.
Yeah, Marty.
Marty Brennan.
Right.
The Metropolitans.
Yeah.
The Houston Astronomicals. I hear that now and then. Don't know if he still does, but.
The Athletics. Not the A's.
Not the A's. The Athletics. There he is. There's the Hall of Famer.
Great guy.
Oh, yeah. Said it before, I'll say it again. He is to, I think, Reds fans what Bob Uecker is to Brewers fans. Just a big part of your spring and summer. 3-2 to Travis Shaw. And a swing and a miss for out number 2. So that was my subtle tip of the cap to Marty, whose son Tom is in the booth to our left, and we've both had a chance to get to know him. I knew him through his college football work when he did that for Big Ten Network, and now he's a long time in the NFL, a long time here in Rockland. We've known him for a long time.
Yeah, Chris Welch over there in the TV booth with Tom and the Cowboy. Jeff Brantley over there with Marty. Yeah, we have a good time with those guys.
Yeah, good guys. Bernard Perez with a foul ball.
Of course, we see a lot of each other.
So it's good to get along.
Right. Like everybody in the division.
By the way, speaking of the Metropolitans, they are being no-no'd right now. Dan Straley, the former Red, who they moved to the Marlins in the offseason, has a no-hitter going through 7 out of Marlins Park. 0-1 to Bernard Perez. Eric Thames a home run. Shaw a ground ball, or rather Shaw a strikeout. Braun a ground ball, and now Perez a ground ball. Suarez right there to make the play. And that'll do it for the Brewers, but still a good 7th for the Brewers as Eric Thames continues his power display with a solo homer, his 6th of the year and 5th of the weekend. We will keep it here. The Brewers lead 4-2. We will be turning it over to Reds public address announcer Joe Sirhusen.
Hats and face the American flag. Major League Baseball, the Reds and the Brewers salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome Casey Campbell as he leads us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
The bottom half of the 7th inning here at Great American Ballpark. Eric Thames having quite the day as we look at the big story around baseball. And the big story is here in Cincinnati, the weekend that Eric Thames continues to have 5 home runs. 1 Thursday, 1 Friday, 2 yesterday, and 1 this afternoon. as he has just gone to work, and that last one off of Tim Adelman in the top half of this inning. And it gives the Brewers a bit of a cushion now, leading 4-2. Willie Peralta's day is done. Jacob Barnes is in, and Schebler lays one down, and he bunts his way aboard. Bunting against the shift, and Schebler is on.
Yeah, why not to lead off the inning? I mean, they're going to give it to you. You don't want to do that with 2 outs, and depend on where you're at in the batting order. But Schebler, the power hitter, drops one down perfectly. Once it got by Barnes, going to be a base hit. Yeah, Barnes in his 7th appearance, he's been terrific so far this year. 6 1/3 scoreless innings.
And he now faces Zach Cozart. Cozart, a red-hot player coming in. He has not fared well against Peralta in his career. That continued today, but Willie's day is done. Cozart 0 for 2 this afternoon. A strikeout on a fly ball. And a good hack right there, and he's down 0-2. Cozart entered the day leading the league in batting average and on base percentage. His OBP was .538 beginning the day. Stopped by Pena. By the way, updating that Mets-Marlins game, that if it turns into a no-hitter, it's going to be a combined one. Dan Straley started with 5 1/3, but they have turned it over to the bullpen. But they are through 7. The Marlins lead the Mets 2-0. Mets no runs, no hits. A ball, 2 strikes to Zach Cozart.
Yeah, Barnes has that good slider. He calls it a cutter. Throws it about 90 miles an hour. He's gotten as much as 91 this year. He threw one at 91 in Toronto. Bunch of hard throwers out of that Brewers bullpen this year, at least early on.
Boy, no doubt. Barnes ready again with a 1-2 pitch. And at 97, he misses away. You've got Barnes, you've got Knebel, Marinez can bring it up there, and of course Neftali Feliz was touching 100 on Tuesday night in Toronto. He'll get you mid to upper 90s with some regularity. 2-2 the count. Lifted into right center field. Perez will give way. No, he will not. He'll take control, and there's out number 1.
Yeah, Barnes able to get in on the hands of Cozart that time. Didn't have much carry. Really didn't sound like he got much of it.
One out. Schebler on at first for the catcher Tucker Barnhart. Grounded to Nick Franklin at second, and he has singled to center. And he was cut down on a fielder's choice on a bunt attempt in the 5th inning. It was a good bunt by Adelman, but Barnhart apparently assuming the play was automatically going to be to first. He pulled up, hit the brakes, didn't go hard into second, didn't slide, and that allowed Manny Pena to throw out the lead runner.
And you never know how the inning would have turned out had it been, first and second, 1 out. The top of the order coming up. Little mistakes like that can cost you a game.
Yeah, as it turned out, Peralta got out of the inning on a ground ball from Billy Hamilton, and another good day's work for Peralta. 3 starts, 3 good outings. 6 innings of 3-hit, 2-run ball.
Mistakes have cost the Reds today, and they haven't made many so far this year.
They came in with just a couple of errors. They have added 2 to that total both times. Arizmendi Alcantara was the guilty party, as you look at Blake Wood warming up in the Cincinnati bullpen. 0-2 pitch to Barnhart, swung on and missed, and that is out number 2 in the 7th.
I'm not sure what that pitch is, but he took a little bit off. It looked like almost it had a splitter effect to it. 93 miles an hour down in the strike zone. Let's see. You see what it is? Maybe slider, maybe something like that. But it wasn't a fastball, but that was well located. 93 out of the zone. Kind of a slider grip and spin, but a 93 mile an hour slider, more of a cutter, I would think, right?
And Barnhart had no chance. Here is Scooter Gennett. He will pinch hit, and he has done some damage here this weekend against his former team. 3 for 6 in the series, had a couple of hits, drove in a couple here in the series.
It's kind of a surprise he didn't start at second base today. I think the Brewers were glad of it. He's been swinging the bat well.
Yeah, Brian Price opting for Alcantara instead. See that average for Gennett. He's shown an ability to drive the ball. 3 homers. He has 10 RBIs. And as is often the case, and Gennett talking to reporters, read the comments, he hasn't even tried to hide it. He said, look, yeah, this fires me up. So many words. You get excited when you get a chance to play your former team. Happens all the time. Doesn't matter what sport it is. 2 balls, no strikes. Barnes against Scooter Gennett. In the air, left field. Braun at the track, and he makes the catch. Gennett gives it a ride, but it's a loud out, and Jacob Barnes gets through the 7th inning unscathed. We are through.
Cincinnati on an Easter Sunday. And this Thursday, don't forget, the Brewers return to Miller Park, beginning a weekend series with the Cardinals, featuring the first 5-county Friday of the season, a post-game laser show on Saturday, and at the Jonathan VR bobblehead giveaway on Sunday. Go to brewers.com for tickets. What a beautiful day.
Oh, man.
I mean, where's all the rain?
No, let it wait. Just a little while longer here.
A couple more innings.
Yes, sir. Blake Wood now on the mound for Cincinnati. Third pitcher of the day, Tim Adelman, working 4 innings. He gave up a couple of hits, including a solo homer to Eric Thames, but Adelman pitched well in relief of Sal Romano. And here's Manny Pena.
Yeah, second time we've seen Wood in the series. He pitched out of the bullpen on Friday, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, so he got hit pretty hard.
By the way, the no-hit bid done in Miami. Walker breaking it up in the 8th inning. Marlins lead the Mets 4-2. Make that 2-0. Marlins lead the Mets. Brewers lead the Reds 4-2 here in the 8th. At the plate, presented by Wendy's for Manny Pena, as he continues to hit well and play very well behind the plate. 1 for 2 today with a walk. Pena, Neuenhuis, and Arcia against Wood. See if the Crew can tack on another run or two.
Yeah, had a lot of opportunities in the first 3 innings. They were able to put up 3 runs, but they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
For the day, they have stranded 7, and most of that came in those opening 3 innings. Two balls, 2 strikes to Pena. Starting things off here in the 8th. A 5-hit day for Milwaukee, just 4 for Cincinnati. Payoff pitch coming from Blake Wood. The chance for Zach Cozart, and it's routine, 1 out.
Yeah, Wood basically fastball slider. He's got 2 different fastballs, 4-seam, 2-seam, and a good slider. He's been good out of the pen for Cincinnati, except for that appearance on Friday night.
12,625 here at the ballpark today. A light crowd on this Easter Sunday afternoon. Kirk Neuenhuis at the plate. He's hit by a pitch his first trip. He has since struck out twice. Playing center field, Keon Broxton out of the lineup here. And just trying to, Craig Counsell knowing that the schedule is heavy in the month of April with just a couple of scheduled off days, talking to reporters before the game, and how later in the year you kind of get a payback for that. You get maybe some more days off than what you would normally have. But it's
as a player, that's when you want him later on.
Right.
You don't need a lot of off days in April.
No. And the good part is with the Brewers, they have a home heavy schedule in the month of April, and there's 2 road games at Toronto. You had no weather worries, and we've had beautiful weather here in Cincinnati. Let's see if Chicago will cooperate. A swing and a miss from Neuenhuis. There it is. You see in the month there's just 1 other off day in this month, and it's during that 10-game homestand on the 27th, and then right back at it. Road trip and an off day before the series with the Red Sox starts at Miller Park. They're just missing there.
That like pretty good pitch.
Full count to Neuenhuis. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire this afternoon. Neuenhuis, a swing and a miss. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th.
Yeah, right back to the slider. Right under the bat of Kirk Neuenhuis.
Like the Brewers, the Reds have some hard throwers out of the bullpen. Here's Orlando Arcia. Nasty stuff here from Blake Wood here in inning number 8. Arcia a couple of fly balls as well as a fielder's choice ground ball. 6-4. That was back in the 3rd inning. And it quickly falls behind 0-2. This game turns over to two very good bullpens. They've both been touched up in this series, but through the first couple of weeks, both bullpens have been very impressive. 0-2 pitch to Arcia. And he held up. His first base umpire, Gabe Morales. Ball, 2 strikes to Orlando Arcia. The pitch, and Arcia hangs in there.
Yeah, a lot of sliders. Every pitch so far in this at bat to Arcia from Wood has been a slider.
See if he stays with that pitch. 1-2 again. Here it comes. And he went around as it bounced up there, and securing the strikeout is Barnhart. And back-to-back strikeouts, finishes a 1-2-3 inning for Blake Wood. To the bottom of the 8th, Brewers leading it 4-2.
Take a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the 8th inning, and we've got Brewers Live post-game presented by Ascension coming up after the ball game. Live here from Cincinnati. Augie is here, Rock is here, Matt's here. We're all going to pitch in before we hit the road with the Brew Crew. Lots to talk about. Travis Shaw, home run on his birthday. Ryan Braun, also a home run. Eric Thames, he is the big story, though. 5 home runs in this series, the first player in franchise history to hit 5 home runs in a 4-game series, and he now has 6 on the season. That ties him for the NL lead right now. So how about that storyline? The home run ball is back.
In a big way, Craig, and we'll cap that off and hopefully have a lot of good stuff to talk about after a Brewers win, as Corey Knebel now on for Milwaukee, and he will face the top of the order, Hamilton, Alcantara, and Votto.
Yeah, Corey has not pitched in this series. His last appearance was back in Toronto. A 3-up, 3-down inning. It was good to be facing Billy Hamilton late in the game with a 2-run lead. You know, he gets on, he can get into scoring position very quickly. Corey's been outstanding.
One of those hard throwing options that Craig Counsell has out of the bullpen. 2-0 pitch to Hamilton is up and away. Hamilton walked in the first inning, was caught stealing. It's the first time he's been caught this year after being successful in his first 5 tries. 3-0 pitch to Hamilton, taken all the way. Ball was out of the zone, but Adrian Johnson says hang on.
Might have got one right there. You're better off standing in the box until that ball is in the glove. A lot of times umpires are going to ring that up. You take off too early.
Knebel battling back from 3-0 to a full count. Bullpens ranked 3rd and 5th in the National League in ERA. Reds 3rd, Brewers 5th. And Hamilton strikes out swinging. Knebel down 3-0, and he ends up punching out Hamilton, who has some words for the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson. Out number 1 in the 8th.
Yeah, the 3-0 pitch, it looked like it might have been out of the strike zone just a little bit, but Knebel gets the benefit of the call and then comes right back to get him on a full count. A good fastball just at the borderline top of the strike zone. I think that's what he was asking, was that last pitch a strike. Billy Hamilton, not a guy that's going to argue a whole lot. But good for Corey. He got the break on the 3-0 pitch and then came back and got him.
Here's Arizmendi Alcantara. Knebel missing at 98 on that fastball. Alcantara 1 for 11 this season, 0 for 2 with a first inning walk today. Was that strong curveball from Corey.
Difference maker for him. I mean, when he gets that over, then that fastball becomes much more effective.
Break even pitch. Curve again, making 1-2. Alcantara isn't pleased. A ball, 2 strikes to the Reds' second baseman. And that is a blow-by fastball, and down goes Alcantara, 2 outs in the 8th.
It's all about throwing that curveball in the second pitch. He was able to throw that over, got into the head of Alcantara, and then the fastball, see ya, up and out of the strike zone. You can't hit that at 98, especially when you're behind in the count.
Often tempting, rarely hittable. Here's Joey Votto. First pitch swinging, fouls it out of play. Votto with one of the just 4 hits the Reds have this afternoon. Votto singled in the first. Just checking in, that's an inning that could have gotten away from the Crew, but Billy Hamilton was caught stealing. Back-to-back walks to begin the inning and a single from Votto. Hamilton caught trying to steal second, and then Adam Duvall hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Turned very impressively by Travis Shaw to Nick Franklin to Eric Thames. 0-2 to Votto, 2 outs, bases empty. Two-strike pitch. Votto was hit his last at-bat, last plate appearance in the 6th inning. Corey Knebel ready. Now steps off. 1-2 the count.
They saw Pena tapping the glove, trying to convince Votto that he was throwing a curveball, tapping the glove on the ground, and he scooted outside. He was going to throw a fastball.
Here comes the 1-2. That scoots him back. 98.
Move the feet a little bit. Don't let him get comfortable in that box.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. And a little check swing away from the shift, and that'll be a base hit for Votto.
That's what he does. That was a good curveball too. Not much you can do about that. That's that shift again. It's hurt the Brewers a couple of times today. But more times than not, you're going to get outs. That's a terrific curveball. Wow. Votto just checks his swing. And it's a base hit.
Yeah, another example of what we've seen in the last couple of days, especially of good pitches that are just going for hits anyway. And he's one of the best in the game and has been for a while, Joey Votto. And now Adam Duvall, 2 outs, and Votto the runner at first. Curve bounces up there, stopped by Pena. Abel struck out Hamilton and Alcantara to begin the inning. Check swing infield single from Votto. One 0 pitch coming. This is popped up. And a long run for Franklin and Perez, and it bounces a couple of rows into the seats.
And Brewers outfield playing deep, preventing against the extra base hit. Not so much worried about the man at first base. Of course, they'd like to keep him from scoring, but you don't want to allow Duvall to get the extra base hit. He represents a tying run.
Both teams with 5 hits this afternoon. Corey Knebel trying to protect this 2-run lead for Milwaukee. And a foul tip. Got Manny a bit. 1-2 the count. A strike away from getting through this 8th inning. Willie Peralta worked the first 6, gave up 3 hits, and the 2 runs the Reds have. They scored those runs in the 4th inning. A 2-run shot off the bat of Eugenio Suarez. Jacob Barnes got through the 7th. 1-2 to Adam Duvall. Popped up, and this will be in play. Nick Franklin is there. Inning over. Good work by Knebel. A couple of strikeouts, a harmless infield single. It stays 4-2 Brewers through 8. Up with our game summary. Here's how the day is going. More deep home run power from the Milwaukee Brewers here today as Ryan Braun, a 2-run blast, followed by this solo shot off the bat of Travis Shaw. The Brewers go back-to-back. Eugenio Suarez with his home run, a 2-run shot, the only scoring so far for Cincinnati. And then Eric Thames, his power display continues. His 5th home run of this series. He now has 6 on this young season, and That's where we are. A 4-2 Brewers lead here in the 9th inning. Jonathan Villar pinch hitting and hits a little number out between the mound and home plate, and Villar is thrown out for out number 1 in inning number 9. Villar at that 9 spot. Lineup turns back to the top for Nick Franklin. Corey Knebel gets the job done in the 8th, giving up an infield single, but that was it. A couple of strikeouts.
I think Brian Price wants to go to a left-hander.
And he will do just that with a switch hitter and then a lefty, Eric Thames, coming up. So a pitching change here at Great American Ballpark as the Brewers leading it 4-2. Brewers lead the Cincinnati Reds 4-2. Pitching change made by Brian Price as he removes the right-hander Blake Wood to bring in the left-hander Wandy Peralta.
Yeah, second appearance in the series for Peralta. That 193 earned run average has been very good. The one home run that he has allowed to a left-hander was Eric Thames
on Friday night, and counter move made by Craig Counsell as he will now bring Domingo Santana into the ball game. He pinch hits for Nick Franklin. Just did miss Domingo. 1-1 the count. And another hard thrower, Wandy Peralta. Santana, a swing and a miss. Eric Thames waits on deck. Broken bat bloop over the mound. That's Alcantara. And that's the second out.
And he does have a good heater. No doubt about that. 96 in on the hands of Santana. It's a much improved Cincinnati bullpen.
Really is. It was a mess last year, and this year it's been worked a ton. I mean, their innings worked almost matching the innings turned in by starting pitchers for Cincinnati. Brewers bullpen also has been outstanding.
Well, if you're Eric Thames, don't expect a fastball for a strike. That's the pitch that he hit out on Friday against Peralta. Slider, fastball that he hit out of the ballpark. He starts him out with 2 sliders.
And Thames down 0-2. Wandy Peralta ready with a 1-2 pitch. Brewers put 3 runs on the board against today's starters. Sal Romano making his major league debut. He worked 3 innings. Tim Adelman 4. And Thames a swing and a miss. Wandy Peralta retires Santana and Thames. And the Brewers go down 1-2-3 to the bottom of the 9th we go. Brewers lead the Reds 4-2. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. And a good day going for the Milwaukee Brewers as they look to close this one out. 4-2 leaders over Cincinnati. A couple of changes here. Jonathan Villar will stay in the game, and he will handle things at second base. And on the mound, the closer, Neftali Feliz.
Yeah, picked up save number 3 of the season at Toronto. That was on Wednesday night, a scoreless 9th. Walked a batter, ended the game with a double play ball. And he's got the bottom half of the Cincinnati order here in the 9th.
Eugenio Suarez will lead things off. He has provided the Reds with their scoring today, a 2-run homer in the 4th. Both teams with just 5 hits. Brewers making it count a little bit more, leading 4-2. As Feliz trying to close this one out. He was bringing it up there with authority in that series in Toronto, especially on Tuesday night when you would see triple digits on the radar gun.
Man, you would think he's feeling pretty fresh right now with 3 days off.
Absolutely. A 1-1 pitch. 97 missing. Willie Peralta went the first 6. Jacob Barnes had an inning. He had the 7th. Corey Knebel had the 8th. And now Craig Counsell turns it over to Neftali Feliz. 2-1 pitch to Suarez, hit in the air, shallow right. Lots of room for Perez. 1 out.
Up in on the knuckles at 95 miles an hour. Well located in on him.
Here's Scott Schebler. A little bunt single working away from the shift in the 7th inning.
Take that away from him right now.
And a swing and a miss from Schebler. And at 97 from Neftali Feliz. Garcia just shaded toward the bag at second, but still on the shortstop side. One strike pitch and another blow by. It's now 0-2.
Up in the zone, awfully difficult to barrel up. Both of them up around the belt.
No balls, 2 strikes. Phillies against Scott Schebler. Here it comes. Brewers with 3 runs in the 3rd. Eric Thames' solo shot in the 7th. Trying to make that hold up here in the series finale. Up and in on a fastball. Brewers trying to secure their 7th win in this, their 13th game. Trying to give Cincinnati loss number 5 and loss number 3 in this series.
Schebler's had decent success in this series on off-speed pitches. Remember, he took Zach Davies out of the ballpark on a curveball yesterday. Up in the zone with a hot big fastball gives everybody trouble.
See if he goes back to that. Two balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. 98 takes care of Scott Schebler, and the Brewers are 1 out away. Let's check out what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. 3-game series at Wrigley Field starts tomorrow. Chase Anderson matches up against John Lackey. We'll get things rolling with Brewers Live tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
And missed the 2 big boys, huh? Arrieta and Lester.
Yes, sir. Take that. Here's Zach Cozart. Reds down to their final outs. Good pitching, good defense here for the Brewers again today. Phillies on the brink of his 4th save. And this is popped up and out of play. Ball, a strike to Zach Cozart. Brewers playing so well to this point on the road trip. Lee's trying to finish the job here this afternoon. Cozart hitless in 3 at-bats, a strikeout and 2 fly balls. Tucker Barnhart is on deck. Base is empty with 2 men out. 2-1 pitch. Make it 2-2.
Yeah, just missing these fastballs as Cozart found him straight back. He's trying to put a wrinkle in a couple of these pitches in this inning, just hadn't been able to find the zone.
Got a fly ball from Eugenio Suarez, a strikeout of Scott Schebler. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cozart. And Cozart hanging in there.
Throw a breaking pitch for a strike, you're going to get him because he is dialed up right now with that fastball.
See if the slider's on the way. 2-2. Here it comes. Missed.
Well, you don't want to walk him, so you go with your best fastball here until the tying run comes to the plate.
The on deck hitter. who is 1 for 3. Phillies trying to avoid him. Here comes the 3-2. Even that little Johnny Cueto, Louis Tion turn again. We've seen that a couple times from Neftali.
Yeah, struck out Josh Donaldson on that in Toronto.
Good battle going on right now. Phillies and Cozart. Again the payoff. And again a foul ball. Ninth pitch coming up in this matchup. Phillies trying to make a winner of Willie Peralta for what would be the 3rd time in as many decisions for the Milwaukee starter. Again the 3-2. And strike 3 called. And that wraps it up in Cincinnati. Phillies rings up Cozart on a 3-2 pitch. And the Brewers take 3 out of 4 in the series.
Well, Cozart thought it was away. Maybe down, but you can't walk it across home plate any better than that. Adrian Johnson rings it up. That is what you call your Hall of Fame Express with something on it. 98 miles an hour.
Oh, what a weekend for the Brewers. They take 3 out of 4. They are now 5-1 on this road trip with the Chicago series coming up. 4-2, the Brewers defeat Cincinnati. Craig Gashawn standing by with Brewers Live postgame coming up.
Yes, it has been a good trip. We'll take a look at that trip, see where the Brew Crew going next in their winning ways. But what a game for Eric Thames. More history among franchise hitters. We'll talk all about it, hear from him and Craig Counsell on the way. Brewers Live presented by Ascension is next.